Hello? And a happy New Year's Eve to you too. Of course. I'll pass it on. What? No, that won't do at all. You promised to come visit for the holidays. Don't you remember what we talked about 100 years or so back? You need to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you won't be able to help your patients. That's better. Please send my love to Marina. Speak soon. That man would work himself into the grave if he could. So glad he found himself such a nice partner. She makes him take a break once in a while. No more work tonight. I need to take my mind off it. What's on TV? Glasha. I think I took good care of her over the years. I still maintain that till this day, it is the most beautiful doll the world has ever... Glasha, I think I still maintain that, not counting Matilda, of course. I don't usually care much for awards, but this one feels special. It's the highest honor given by the Medical Academy for groundbreaking contributions to hematology. All that blood research the doctor and I used to do really paid off. Took decades to conduct, but luckily, I had no shortage of time. Had to use an alias, of course. Can't keep my real name on the records. Otherwise, over the decades, people would catch on. Especially now with the internet real. Anyway, the name may be fake, but the lives we helped save were very real. Home sweet home. Over a century has passed, and I still can't get used to being this well off. An appraiser friend of mine recently looked at this painting. Turns out, over the decades it appreciated in value and is now worth a small fortune. Don't think I'll ever sell it though. Means too much to me. I heard vampires get quite attached to their possessions as they get older. Guess I'm not immune to that. I may have never mastered the piano, but I always admired the instrument. Sometimes I wish I took more classes with Anastasia. Only have myself to blame.
Well, Oksana, only a few hours left till we get to celebrate the much-anticipated year 2000.
The new year is flying fast towards us, and what better present for the nation than the first annual address of the newly elected President Chernov?
Absolutely. It's been a tumultuous year for our country with the tragic, sudden passing of the former head of state. Luckily, Anatoly Chernov promptly took matters into his own hands, first as acting president and now as president-elect after the results of the official emergency referendum.
That's right, Maxim. President Chernov has already demonstrated his firm and efficient governing style. In his short time in office, he's issued orders to reinforce the defensive military budget, and has also introduced a zero-tolerance policy towards illegal immigration.
Finally, our people will have the much-desired stability back into their lives.
Can't wait to hear what he has to say at midnight.
Me too. Say, Oksana, what are you going to wish for when the clock strikes 12?
Well...
Fools.
Looks like your ride is here and already causing a nuisance. That bastard woke me up from such a beautiful dream.
And what was the dream?
That all the annoying drivers in the world were dead, obviously.
Right.
Hey, are you all right?
Yeah.
You know you don't have to do this, right? Besides, it's not going anywhere. Why don't you come to the party with me tonight? Should be good fun. Arben sent us a case of that delicious vintage Cabernet.
I admit, it's very tempting, but I'm sorry. I can't. I have to do this on my own, and I have to do it now. I don't know why, but I feel that tomorrow won't be the same.
Fine. You've always been a stubborn one.
Look who's talking.
You know you can call me any time, right? If you're in any trouble at all, just send a word and I'll tear them apart before they can say Happy New Year.
I bet you would, but I'll be fine, I promise. I'm pretty tough myself.
That you are.
I better get going before the car leaves without me.
Tell him if he wakes me up again, I'll curse his kin to the 5th generation.
I will.
Love you too, Princess.
Getting close now.
So, here I am again. Good to be back. It's hard to believe the last time I set foot here was around a century ago. Vampires generally aren't allowed to stay in the same place for more than 20 years. Otherwise, people start asking questions. Small towns have surprisingly long memories, but you can usually come back once it makes sense for you to pass as your own offspring. Nowadays, they call permission to stay a vampire visa. Higher society granted me one for this town decades ago, but I just hadn't been ready until now. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I owe my old friends a visit in this new millennium. Even if it is at a cemetery.
Here we are. That will be 200 coins.
I thought I asked you to stop by the field.
Sorry, lady. No dice. Too much snow.
200? That would be a ripoff even if you brought me to the right place. But you know that yourself, don't you? Here's 120, and that's with a tip included, considering it's New Year's Eve.
Fair enough. If you don't mind me asking, why did you choose to come here? This place is, well, it's a bit of a hole. No offense.
None taken. Trust me, I know. Honestly, I'm not so sure myself. I used to live here. I guess I just wanted to walk down memory lane.
Well, good luck with that. And hey, Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy upcoming New Year. This monument was built to commemorate the victims of the town hall tragedy. That night indeed became an important one in the town's history. The package that Kolya was meant to deliver to Yvonne contained a bomb. I assumed that withholding the package would be safer. However, it turned out that Yvonne developed a backup plan. He didn't realize, of course, quite how many people his largely demonstrative protest would hurt. Burning the building with the help of kerosene may have not been as effective as a bomb explosion, but fire is still fire. I was lucky to have enough loyal friends who helped organize the rescue team. They managed to extinguish the fire, and I led them to the upper floors of the underground facility. Many were saved from the prison, but because of the suffocating smoke, some weren't so lucky. Since so many of the horrors beneath Town Hall were vampire-related. Shortly after the rescue operation, the higher society sent a hypnotist crew, A well-trained, powerful group of vampires. Of course, there wasn't any enchantment strong enough to completely remove those memories. However, they did manage to alter them enough to convince the humans that what they saw was all standard prison torture practices. Horrible and illegal, yes, but nothing beyond the depthless depravity of mortal beings. The corpse chamber and draining floor, no more than a gruesome dream that faded with the sunrise. The Countess, predictably, kept adjusting with the times and growing her fortune. After the Cabernet producing facility at the town hall was destroyed, she took a loss and had to pivot. However, when the doctor terminated their contract, she never ended up finding a decent replacement. It didn't take her too long to bounce back, though. More partners came forward soon enough, and eventually other business opportunities presented themselves. Some say the Countess is now running one of the biggest mafia networks in the country. It's only rumor, of course, but in all honesty, I would certainly not put something like that past her. Victoria still works for the Countess. Say what you want about her, but she's a loyal one. It clearly didn't go unnoticed by Countess Orlova, and, albeit unofficially, Victoria is widely considered to be her number 2. They say she leads the departments that are heavy on the dirty work, since the Countess trusts her. Rumors, of course, but rings true, doesn't it? The infamous Savely Skortsov, the purportedly non-corrupt mayor of town, ended up being a ruthless sociopath. Soon after the fire was extinguished, a body count was done, and neither Savely nor his remains were anywhere to be found. Having discovered his true nature, I should have predicted that outcome. Turned out, Savely had a contingency plan all along and added secret escape tunnels to his underground office. Perhaps his biggest legacy is that he became somewhat of a folklore figure. Mothers in this area often frighten their children by telling them that bloody Savely will snatch them up if they don't behave. In contrast, the next mayor the town elected remained in his position for nearly a decade and was entirely inconsequential. During that whole time, he arguably did less to improve the town than Savely did in a few months. But then again, he didn't organize brutal murders beneath town property. Well, at least that we know of. What can I say? There's never a dull night with Elisa. There aren't many who have the privilege of being friends with this mysterious creature, so I'm proud to be one of the lucky ones. How many vampires can say that they've seen the sunrise after being turned? I am yet to meet another but her. Only her unique blend of intelligence, passion, and a touch of madness could achieve such results. Her technique, however, brought about much more than just her famous sunrise paintings, which I must say are a huge hit among the vampiric community. I often use a version of it in my clinic for both vampire and human anesthetic purposes, and have helped introduce this practice throughout the vampiric medical community. When her vampiric visa in town expired, sadly, Elisa had to abandon her hookah bar. Such is the fate of most vampiric enterprises. However, people remembered it fondly years after its closure and told stories of legendary nights spent there. The tales grew with embellishments until no one knew what was true, like any good story eventually does. There were vampires who attempted to recreate Elisa's success by building their own such establishments, but no one was able to quite capture her same type of magic. Still, wherever she goes, she manages to start a new venture and turn it into something special. To selfishly put this all aside for a moment, I'm just so incredibly happy we're together. Who knew that I would fall for someone like her? But then again, there really isn't anyone quite like her, is there? Arbin ended up staying in town for quite some time. When she finally left, for a while she tried to maintain her establishment from afar. But, alas, literary salons went out of fashion, and eventually they built a regular housing project in its place. I think I heard that eventually she ended up moving abroad. Sometimes I wonder how things might have turned out if we were closer, but I think that ship has sailed long ago. What do you know? The store is still here.
If you're looking for champagne, vodka or flowers, don't bother. They're all out.
Is that right?
Well, why else do you think I'm still open? All the demand and no other supply. That's good business.
Happy New Year's Eve. The bouquet over there, please.
Cutting it a bit late with the presents, aren't you? You'd better hurry home, or you'll miss the president's speech.
Thanks, but I don't think I'll be watching this year.
What? Why not? Don't you care about your own country? See, that's the problem with your generation. You hold nothing sacred.
Oh, really? And what generation do you think that is?
Generation of spoiled brats. You've seen nothing, done nothing, and fought for nothing. You have all the freedom in the world, but no, you just complain and demand more. Show some respect and be grateful for once.
Are you finished? Listen, I'm not who you think I am, but I don't expect you to understand that. Mark my words, I've seen this happen to our country time and time again. At this point, I feel it in my bones, like how some with arthritis can feel rain coming.
What are you babbling about, girl?
Every time there was hope, a person like that man came to crush it. No one has found a way to break the cycle yet, so, of course, I've come to not expect much. All I'm asking is, think. Think and care about your fellow man. Then, make your own choices.
How much have you had to drink?
Enough for a lifetime. Trust me. Happy upcoming New Year. It's moments like these that I regret making fun of the hussar for smoking.
Are you all right, dear? Hope you don't mind me asking. You look out of sorts.
Yes. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Do you have a place to go tonight? It's New Year's Eve, after all.
Thank you. I do have some old friends I'm visiting.
Oh, that's lovely. You know, I overheard what you were saying back there.
Did I get carried away?
Goodness, no. I would have said the exact same thing. I was just like you when I was younger. Didn't let anyone walk over me.
I'm not as young as I look.
Let's talk again in 50 years, dear. See who's right about this.
Sounds good.
That Chernov, though, he's trouble, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just as we managed to turn this rusty ship around, they're pulling the wheel again. Still, all this time, I never lost hope. Not once. And you shouldn't either, dear.
Thank you. I think I needed to hear that today. You know, you remind me of an old friend of mine.
Friends, of course. Sorry for keeping you, dear. Your friends are probably wondering where you are.
Don't worry, they're quite a patient bunch nowadays. Do you need any help carrying your bag?
Oh, no, bless you, dear. I live just around the corner.
Really? In the old apartment building?
That's the one. My great-aunt used to own it before the revolution, and I inherited it. I'm very lucky. It's apartment number 1. Stop by for a cup of tea sometime if you feel lonely. Have a wonderful year, dear.
Thank you. And you. Well, what do you know? Arbin ended, but... After our conversation about his future, to my surprise, Dr. Volkov took my advice and ended his partnership with the Countess. It took some time and a lot of effort, but he was able to overcome his blood addiction and soon enough resumed his usual work with the patients. Dr. Volkov and I still work together, only now I get to be the one in charge. He's head of medicine at my clinic. The change in power dynamics never seemed to bother him. He always cared about the medicine above any kind of politics. He still, of course, has a tendency to overwork, but luckily, his lovely spouse Marina never lets him dive off the deep end. He may not have achieved his dream of revolutionizing Cabernet, but who knows if it was ever even possible. In this way, the doctor and so many people around him, including his patients, are happy and healthy. Sadly, Anastasia never found the ending to the piece she was writing. Soon after Evgeny's duel, Anastasia left town to join him, which never seemed a wise idea to me. The music school, of course, was shut down, and to my knowledge, no one has ever opened one again since. After a few years, we lost touch, so that's all I know about her fate. Out of all my victims over the years, Kirill perhaps deserved it the most. Still, was it necessary to kill him? Now, that's a different question. Locked. Can't blame them, really. I guess I'll just have to do it like in the good old days. After the tragic night of the duel, Evgeny left town, never to return. I was impressed by the thoroughness with which he erased all traces of his existence. Needless to say, he never published another book, at least under his real name. Some rumors say he drank himself to death, others that he left to start a new life in the West. Personally, I truly hope he found a way to forgive himself. After the personally, to my relief, Demian was among the many lucky survivors who were rescued from the town hall dungeons. Perhaps even luckier, Demian never ended up on the lower levels of Savelli's underground prison. That left him relatively unscarred, and soon enough he seemed to be back to his old playful self. One thing did seem to change, though. After the events of that night, I certainly noticed him working in the fields much more often. It's hard to find a silver lining to what transpired, but I suppose scaring Demian into a working man may have been one of them. Despite surviving the fire that Yvonne started at the town hall that night, Gosha was never quite the same. She became disillusioned with the cause and politics in general, and submitted her resignation to the organization the very next day. She left town shortly after, and made it a point to avoid speaking with any of her contacts from around here. Unfortunately, that included me. I always thought it was a real shame that she stepped away from politics. I had a feeling she could do some good for the country. Oh well, such is life. Sweet, trusting Roman. Sometimes I think there could have been something special between the two of us, but no point in dwelling on it now, is there? I'm happy to report that Petya is still alive and well. He is, of course, still bound to Matilda's body, but at this point, I think even if someone offered him a different form, he'd turn it down. He may have never made it as a great salesman, but, in a way, the fact that he no longer interacted with customers in his new body only did him good. Petya opened a small doll boutique, and it turns out, when someone else was selling his dolls, people absolutely loved them. He never took it personally, though. Petya was just happy that the dolls found good homes. Of course, to open a business, he needed a human for the paperwork, and who happened to step up but his old friend Elisa. She was the face of his company for quite some time, during which they became the best of pals again. Human or vampire, that's something I never imagined happening in a million years. But life is just full of surprises, isn't it? Oleg and I never became close, but at least till I left town he kept running the shop and seemed to be doing fine. Although I'm sure he would have preferred to keep his hand. I always felt a sense of gratitude in him for sparing him. In retrospect, I think I'm glad I didn't end up taking a life for an old grudge, albeit a very heavy one. I wonder if the Rusalka is still out there somewhere. When I didn't deliver the box to the revolutionaries, I thought that I was doing the people of town a favor. I may have been wrong about that. As I later learned, there was a bomb in that package that Yvonne planned to use to blow up Town Hall, which could have led to even more deaths. That said, since Yvonne didn't manage to get the package, he developed a contingency plan to burn the building with fire and kerosene. Till this day, I don't know if there was any way I could have prevented what happened. The only thing I can be sure of is that I can't change anything now. The riot didn't go quite as Yvonne planned. Perhaps the backup plan lacked the flair that could have driven the mob to join him. Still, they were distracted enough by the aftermath that he was able to escape. After that night, Yvonne gained a poor reputation amongst the people in the movement and was forced to lay low. I didn't hear much about him after. I only knew Faina for a short time, but somehow the memory of her has never faded. She meant a lot to me. She still does. I took care of your flowers as best I could, for as long as they lasted. Rest in peace, dear Faina. Trofim took our last talk seriously. He took his time to think things through, kept away from the bottle. He saved some money, and then one day simply went and resigned from the Countess's service. He wasn't lying about his fisherman skills either. With the seed money I gave him, he managed to start a quite successful fishing stand at the town market. From what I can remember, he ended up living a long and happy life doing something he loved. Should we all be so lucky? I always feel a touch of melancholy when I think of how Marusa's life turned out. Don't get me wrong, she lived a long and full life and was an exemplary worker and an excellent parent to a bunch of smart and stubborn children. Marusa did choose her path herself, and by anyone's standards, she made the best of it. But I just can't help but think there was something more in store for her, and that I could have played a part. I did what I came for. I suppose it's time to go home. Oh! Huh. Strange. Snakes usually brumate over the winter. Their metabolism slows down, they stop eating, and hide out underground till it's warmer. Nobody must have come here for ages. I bet I scared it out of its hiding spot. Slithering back to the shadows. How the mighty have fallen. Oof. The church sure has seen better days. What does the sign say? Condemned. Wait, so it's not technically a church anymore, and I don't need an invitation. Does that mean I can enter it? Wow. It's been over a century since I've been inside a church. I'd forgotten how it looks, what it smells like. I'd forgotten how much I missed it, how much I wanted to come in sometimes when I was scared and lost. Oh, damn it. The Morozov family. Minus me, of course. I remember how, even before I was allowed to touch matches, in church, Mother would let me light candles for people we knew. I loved doing it, partly because of the excitement of the dangerous forbidden flame, but it was also more than that. Even before I knew what it meant, it felt important. Why don't I light some candles now? I may not get another chance. There. People tend to only say good things about the dead, but we all knew Father was far from perfect. Slowly but surely, drinking turned him from a kind and loving person into a monster. But some fairy tales do have a happy ending. He managed to quit drinking soon after that fateful summer. I might be giving us too much credit, but I feel like Kolya and I might have had something to do with it. Mom stuck with him through the rough months. Uncle Mitko helped out with money before they got back on their feet, and from what I gathered, they both ended up rather happy. So glad I managed to get this new picture of them. Of course, according to higher society laws, we're never supposed to get in touch with family, but I bent the rules just a little. I got into some trouble, of course, but that's a whole other story. Rest in peace, dear mother and father. It's not easy being an older sister, but being a younger brother must have also had its challenges. And Kolya. Poor Kolya. If only things worked out a little differently, maybe he would still be around. It was my fault. I miss him very much. Rest in peace, dear brother. Funny thing, for over a century I've lived so many lives. Different names, cities, friends, and enemies. I've seen more people live and die than one can count, or care to remember. But even after all this time, I still think about my family. They never faded away. I could have done things differently, and every day I have to live with my choices and my mistakes. Some of them are heavy and bury themselves deep in my gut. From what I hear, every vampire receives a keepsake like that sooner or later. Maybe that's the true payment for eternal life. Or maybe it's a part of any life, really. I don't know if they ever fully go away. If I'm honest, I don't think so. But they remind me to do things differently, to be better. And when I do, sometimes I feel human again. Last candle left. I think I know what I'll light it for. I've seen people in this country go through so much suffering. Wars, revolutions, tyranny, famine. So much has happened, and yet so little has changed. Some people say this country is cursed, hopeless. I don't know if I believe that. I've seen fates crushed by a short sentence. I've seen lives saved by a simple embrace. No matter what they say, a person's choice can make a difference, so you might as well do your best. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll all make enough of the good ones. And for now, there is hope. Demons may be hereditary, but we are in charge of them.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Улицы плачут по белому снегу. Дворник не может очистить их серость. Пьяный он смотрит на красные руки. Тень на глазах умирает со скуки. Если чудеса только в фильмах, если чудеса только в книжках. Кому я молюсь? Кому я молюсь? просто ты так не к лицу мне. Не приходи, если чудеса только в книжках. Если чудеса